Hello again and welcome to another Mordian Mondays. This is episode 102 and it's also the first video of 2022 for the Mordian Glory channel. I thought, you know what, what's the best way to do it? Should start off with a tactics video or something else, but you know what I thought? Let's just start off with a nice, chill Mordian Monday. So let's start off with some hobby and just talking about what we're looking forward to and plans for the year and all this kind of crazy stuff, and just start off the year right. You can't start off the year without a good Mordian Mondays video. It just felt like the right thing to do. So we're just going to dive straight into this. Anyone who is coming across this channel for the first time, Mordian Mondays are very much a casual, off-the-cuff, stream of conscious video. I talk about all sorts of crazy stuff, go on all sorts of tangents, and it's meant to be a bit of a hobby video, and I will be focusing about hobby and, you know, what I've done this week and what I'm going to be doing next week and all this kind of stuff and what's going to be in the pipeline, but it just go all over the place a little bit. So sit down with your favourite beverage, you know, watch something else on your second screen or paint some models, whatever. Do whatever you want. I don't really mind. Listen to this whilst you're jogging, but it's just going to be, as always, guys, we're going to start the year off nice, casual, Mordian Mondays. I'm just going to chat some shit about this crazy hobby that we do, which is Warhammer 40k, and, well, it's miniature wargaming in general. It's not all about 40k these days. There's loads of different things you can try out there. That's probably something that I may touch on that later. I've been playing a lot more action recently, but, you know, I might do that in a separate video. Well, who knows? I'm literally doing this off the cuff, totally random. Anyway, let's crack on with something that at least resembles a vague structure, which is, let's talk about what have I been working on this week. Well, I had hoped by the end of 2021 that I would have got everything done for the 6th platoon or 3rd platoon, 2nd company. I haven't quite got that all done, but I have got, and this is what's on the screen now, I have now completed all of the riflemen for that platoon. That literally every single rifleman for 6th platoon. Jeez, I can't decide. What would you prefer, 6th platoon or 3rd platoon, 2nd company? They're the same thing anyway. So I've done all those now, and what's really interesting is this batch of models that I've done. So those of you that have been following the Mordian Mondays, you know that I've been like, right, I'm not going to do it squad by squad, which is what I have been doing, because I have found that if you paint pose by pose rather than as full units, then it's a bit quicker for the batch painting, which I can certainly say is the case. What I found with these two poses that I've done here, so I did a big batch of 8, 2 different poses, is that these poses here are both my favourite poses and my least favourite poses. So my favourite pose is the guy who's got like his lasgun presented and he's obviously like screaming some sort of obscenity or war cry at the enemy, and he's just ready. You know, he's just ready to advance. You know, he's got his weapon leveled, he's either Starship Troopering and he's firing that from the hip, or he's just got it ready in this sort of on guard position and he's ready to just sort of fight some enemies of the Emperor. You know, that's potentially what he's doing, and that is my favourite pose. And then my least favourite pose is the other pose which I've got here, where the guy's like clutching his lasgun to his chest. And I have to say, this isn't just, it's not necessarily that I don't like the fact he's clutching his lasgun to the chest or anything like that. Although I do find it's, you know, one pose, you know, the sort of the on guard position very much speaks of confidence, speaks of, you know, aggressiveness and, you know, yeah, we're going to go and get you kind of thing. I'm ready to fight. And the clutching lasgun pose really just feels out of place. But it's not just that. I would say the quality of the different, you know, sort of pose is very, very present. Like the on guard guy, you know, everything is good. There's minimal, from original metal monopose mini, there's minimal sort of, you know, lumps of stuff that, you know, they've done to sort of fill in gaps. There's one a little bit underneath the lasgun, but there's not much really. Whereas with the clutching lasgun to the chest pose, it's like, you know, there's a lot of lumps underneath the model where, you know, there's lots of blocks where they've added stuff in. He's meant to have like a torch attached to the side of his lasgun, like the aiming model. So if you remember a few weeks back, we did the aiming model. But it's not properly formed. It's a really weird half nubbin, half just bit of matter that's stuck to the side of his gun that's meant to be, from what I can understand, a torch. But obviously, it just doesn't work. it's weird. So it's also my least favourite pose. Not only is he unconfident, only does he have a weird sort of torch thing that molds half into his chest, and like I said, there's weird molds and sort of blocks of matter under the gun just where they filled in gaps. Also, I'd like to point out that this model doesn't have a knife. There's no knife scabbard, and there's a weird is in place of the knife. There is an extra ammo pouch, but the ammo pouch is underneath, sort of over his. It's in a really weird. It's in a really weird position, and it's clearly just there because they needed to fill in a gap, and it doesn't even really have a button or anything else like the regular ammo pouch. It's just a bad model. I mean, I love all the Mordian metal minis. Don't get me wrong, I love them all. I'll paint them all. And when I say least favourite, I don't mean it's, just throw these ones in the bin or anything like that. If you're going to do that, tell me. I'll fucking have them off you. But it's just my least favourite pose. It's just the one that feels like it's I don't know. I mean, a lot of the metal monopose minis, they were the same poses, even if the models are completely different across different units. And this one, so you had some of the Talarm poses and some of the Cadian poses. I tend to find that the Cadians and the Mordians have a lot of crossover in their poses. And I feel like this is much more of a Cadian pose. And it's not, that's been sort of translated onto the Mordians. But I honestly don't know. That's just a theory. I'm just hypothetical. But anyway, I've talked a lot about this shitty fucking pose. Overall, though, really happy with how the minis turned out. All the riflemen done now. So what do I have left to do? Well, I have got 2 grenade launchers and 2 melter guns, and they're going to be in the next batch for next week. I've then got 5 sergeants. I've got 2 with chainswords and las pistols, and 2 with sabers / power swords and las pistols. So I've got 4 special weapons, 5 sergeants, and then I've got 4 heavy weapons, 2 heavy bolters and 2 las cannons and their respective crews. And that will be all the line infantry done for this regiment. So there's still there's 5. I've got 6 special weapon gunners between the 4 heavy weapons, because it's always the way when you're getting second-hand models, which all my Mordians are basically. You never get enough crew with the heavy weapons. So I should have 8 crew for 4 heavy weapons, and I've got 6 crew for 4 heavy weapons. So inevitably, some of those bog standard riflemen will be repurposed as heavy weapon guns crews. But anyway, 4 special weapons, 5 sergeants, and 6 crew make up basic, and then the guns themselves. So it's about 15 models. It's about 15 models, and then the 4 guns. And then that's it, really. That'll be all of that platoon done. And then we crack onto the characters. And I've got loads of characters I want to get done, because there's a couple of characters I need for the last platoon as well. And then I've just got 4 characters platoon. So yeah, it's pretty good. I estimate though that it'll be end of Jan for me to get all of the regular guys done, and then we'll work on all the characters over February. And that's where we'll be with the project. And once that's done, we're looking at 6 full platoons completed. And once I've completed those 6 platoons, I'm going to have a real sit down and do a bit of an audit on myself, on my models, or a bit of a check where we're up to. Because I've kind of just been slogging through Guardsman squad after Guardsman squad recently, pose after pose. Feels like I've been really doing a good job of smashing through the Mordian project recently, and getting through my guard backlog in general. Like I had those 2 manticores that I got through and whatnot. Feels like I've really been hitting the guard restoration project hard, and getting through the guard backlog really well. But I need to know where I'm up to. So I don't know how much I've got left, but I seem to remember that when this platoon was done, I was really starting to get over the hump of the project. I feel like I've barely got enough plastic Cadians left to do, enough for half a platoon maybe. And I think it might be more metal Mordians, like another platoon or two of more metal Mordians that I've got left over to do. So that's kind of where we're up to. Obviously now, that's kind of the short term plan, for this month, and that's what you guys can going to look forward to. Long term plan, there's I need to work out how long how long is going to be left on this project, because I actually thought I would be done already, but my original estimates for this project were like, if I just paint Mordians non-stop for 2 years, then I'll be done. And then that'll be great. But I have diverged significantly. I have gone off and done a full like 2,000 points worth of Japanese bolt action, which in terms of 40k terms, that's like painting a 4,000 point army. Okay. And then I've done my Black Templars in this time, and like Gene Stealer Cult and all this kind of crazy stuff. So I have seriously diverged. And the project's been going on for like 2.5 years now. I think it'll. I don't know if it'll be done by the end of 2022. It'd be cool if it was done by the end of 2022, but I don't think that it will be. I think that it will easily end up being mid 2023 when the restoration project will finish. And I think it'll take 4 years. But in that 4 years, we would be looking at like, it's going to be 600 models which are painted. Because with these guys, I've broken the 400 barrier. I think now I've got 400, with these guys finished, I've painted 412 models for the Great Mordian Restoration Project. And I have added to it as opportunities have come up to buy a squad of Mordians here or get a squad of Mordians there. I have added to it as it's gone along. So, I imagine if I hadn't bought anything, I would be getting close to being finished now. But when someone offers you or approaches you with like, I've got some Mordians, I want to rehome them or whatnot, you can't really turn them down, because I always want more Mordian infantry, because my goal one day is to be able to do a pure metal Mordian infantry army, which I should be able to do at the end of this project. But the point is that we're 2.5 years in, and I've done 2 companies. So it's going to be, I've got at least another year, another company to go at least. So that's like at least another year from now. So maybe. So I think there's loads of Mordian Mondays still to go. There is that old adage that a guard army is never finished, and that is true. That is true. But like, I'm on like 410 models, 412 models at least now, with these 8 guys done. So I've painted a shitload. It's roughly, the thing is, some of those are Bulgren as well. And those Bulgren took me like 2 months to do, because they're so big. Like each one was like painting a tank. When you do it in terms of doing the hazard stripes, the fine detail, and all that kind of stuff. So I would say on average I can paint about 200 regular infantry a year, and I have, so if I keep going, I'll break the 600. The plan would be to like break the 600 point this year by the end of 2022, and that should be 3 companies. And then we've got the vehicles to do as well. I've got all the Mordian vehicles to do. I've got like 20 Mordian vehicles that need redoing as well, which is just, at this point I'm tempted to sell them and rebuy them, rather than go through the whole stripping process. I have been tempted to do that at several points, because some of the models that I've got left over now are really grim. Like, they're like eBay rescues that I didn't rescue. I consigned them to a layer of thick potato-based paint. So, oh man, it's gonna be an interesting year. But I think I'm gonna be focusing on metal models this year. I've got enough plastic Cadians done now for the time being. I think it's Metal Mordians, the year of the Metal Mordian. But I also want to get, I've got bolt action Germans that I want to get done, and I've got Black Templar Primaris that I want to do. I want to run my 100 Primaris Crusaders. So it's going to be interesting how I work that out. I'm highly tempted to get the Primaris Black Tide commission painted. There's a local commission painter. He does a tabletop standard for a very reasonable price. He did me like 100. He did 100 Krieg models, 100 more than 100 Krieg models for me in like a week for like, you know, reasonable-ish price. So if I could get to do the same for my black tide, that would be great. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below, because I want to go to tournaments this year, but unless we get some like serious evolutions out of the Guard Codex, and I'm feeling like I might take my Black Templars to a few events, just because I can literally just turn up 100 Primaris Crusaders and just charge, and just have a good time. It might be a bit of a meme, and I don't end up enjoying it for, you know, after like 6 months or whatever, but or after a couple of after 6 games or whatever. But I had played 5 practice games with the army and loved the whole just charging Primaris Templars of people and chopping everything from battle tanks to infantry down with just chainsaws and bolt pistols. So, and big pimp Daddy Helbrecht. I'm gonna have to have a little think about how I want to do it, but I think I might get the Black Templars commission. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I mean, the Guard is the main focus of this channel, right? So they should be the ones that I paint. I should paint the Guard, and if I want a little break from the Guard, I should paint some Germans for my about action. But I think the Black Templars should just get commission painted. That's kind of what's going through my head. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. So that's kind of the plan for the year. We're gonna get this platoon finished, and then we're gonna go straight on to the next. Then we're gonna have a little bit of an audit. Then we're gonna move on to some bolt action Germans or or get the 3rd company finished for the Mordians, and then we'll get the Black Templars commission painted. That's probably what's going to be going on. Let me know what you guys are doing in your hobby world down in the comment section below. I always love reading about other people's hobby progress. It inspires me with my own hobby progress to know that there's so many other people out there just dedicatedly just working away, just painting their Guard up, painting other projects up. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Let me know what you're doing down in the comment section below, I should say. And what are your plans for this year? You know, hobby-wise, not hobby-wise, I don't mind. You know, just tell me what you're thinking. I'm always up for just learning more about people and whatnot. So, what are your hobby plans this year? Are you planning on starting a new army? Are you planning on going to a new game system, like myself and Bolt Action? Are you planning, what have you got planned for your Guard? Are you joining the Guard for the first time? Have any of you got any cool, Guard Christmas presents? Have you got to start collecting? Are you a new conscript joining the ranks? Let us know down in the comment section below, because myself and many, many people who are part of this community, this wonderful community, if you're a new player, ask any question down in the comment section below, because if I don't get back to you, I guarantee some other amazing Guard community member will get back to you. So that's kind of everything I want to talk about 40k wise. Very, very quick little segue. Bolt Action. Yeah, loving it. In fact, I'm going to be playing another 2 games of Bolt Action this week, and I've already played 4 in the last 2 weeks, and it's really, really fun. And I don't know if it's just because I'm burned out on 40k, but I look forward more to my games of Bolt Action than I do to my games of 40k. And it was kind of funny. The last game of Bolt Action I was playing down at the club, there was me and obviously me and my opponent, or me and my friend, we were playing Bolt Action, and I just sort of had this little moment when I looked over at the 40k tables, and I could just see like the ridiculousness that was going on. I'm talking like, you see the 2 armies set up against each other, and it's like there was one case where you saw the 2 armies set up against each other, and it was like, yep, that guy's going to lose, can't do anything about it, And you had another situation where you had 2 people like set up against each other, and it's just like, they're just rolling just crazy amounts of dice at each other. And, these people, the people that were playing 40k, got 1 game in the time that it took me to get 1 game of Bolt Action done, and I ended up playing a board game of the Nemesis Alien board game, which is like, really, really cool. So, I don't know. It's funny when you poke your head outside of that Games Workshop bubble for a second, you do see like, you look back, you sort of look back reflectively into the 40k bubble, and you're like, it's kind of ridiculous really. And then you're playing Bolt Action, it's like, oh, I've got 10 dice for my squad. That's how many shots I have. There's no rerolls. It is what it is. I don't know. I'm sure it's just a burnout thing, but I'm definitely enjoying bot action a lot more. So I know I asked this last time. I know a lot of you came back and were like, yeah, we don't care what you do, Morning Glory. Just any content's good content. But, you know, it would be really cool to know if people would be up for seeing a bit more bot action. I think it's always going to be an Imperial Guard channel, but it would be cool to diversify, diverge, have a look at a bit of bot action. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And that's it for this week, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're looking forward to another great year. Loads of content, loads of guard, bot content, and other content will be coming up. Let me know your hobby progress, and of course, I'll see you guys next time.